Hello, my peaceful and profitable entrepreneurs. Happy Thursday. We have a special treat for you today. My amazing OBM and this colleague and friend, Kristy is here today. She is going to talk to us about creating a website that converts to paying clients and simple tweaks you can make. So this is going to be a really great conversation. I know she's got a lot of juicy stuff to share with you. So I am going to make sure that this is pulling up real quick on Facebook. Double check. And like I said, Kristy, we've been working together for over a year, going on 2 years.
Yeah, like April of 2022.
Yeah, so like in the spring next year, it'll be 2 years. So, and this is something like I love having this conversation with you because like my background is numbers and accounting, and then I pivoted to coaching, and like that just served me so well with what I do now. So I know that like your background and everything that you've brought to the table just serves your clients so much better with what you're doing with websites. So, okay, we are cooking with gas. So we can go ahead and jump in, and I'll let you properly introduce yourself and just kind of kick it off.
Sure. Okay, so I'm Kristy, and I am an OBM. I've done a little bit of everything. I've done social media management. I've done tech VA, OBM stuff. And so my business has kind of morphed. A lot of what I do is around strategy. And using strategy to grow and scale your business. And I have done a lot of web design over the years over the year and a half for my clients. And what I have found was that I just absolutely love it, and that there's so much strategy that goes into a website. So when I'm designing websites, yes, they look beautiful. Like obviously that's my goals. I want them to look great. But more importantly, it's what is the strategy behind it? What is going to happen when your clients land on your website? What journey are they going to go on? Are they going to make it from point A to point B? And is that website going to convert for you? Are they going to turn into clients? Like, so how do we ensure that that is maximized and optimized to the best of our ability? So that's kind of how I got to here. Yeah. And I will kind of put this caveat out there. I do specialize in like online service providers, coaches, creatives, course creators, things like that. So some of what I'm talking about is going to be more geared towards that. So if you have a product or a commerce-based business, there's still a lot of this that you can apply, but that's kind of a different type of a website and a different journey that your customer goes on. So but yeah, so everything that we're going to talk about today has sort of that OBM background built into it, and why things are the way they are, why you should have certain things, and how you can just tweak things. And obviously we're not talking copy today, but the copy on your website is obviously very important as well. So I'm going to talk more about like the structure and design of it than the actual copy.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I know that that's like so important, just knowing from like the strategy piece of like the why that you're doing things, and like a website, why you have certain things in certain places and kind of all that. So
yeah. Okay, so obviously you've probably heard this before, but when someone lands on your website, you have like less than 15 seconds to sort of capture their attention. So you want to make sure that in those first 15 seconds that you're giving them something that's going to make them want to stay on your page and learn more. So obviously, we'll kind of start with like visual design. Like visual design is obviously very important, and you want your, it's not just about being pretty, but it's about like the typography, making sure that, the fonts that you have work together, making sure that you do have headings and subheadings and paragraphs, and making sure that's kind of blocked out so that it's easy to read, making sure there's white space, making sure your brand colors, everything flows together. I kind of always just say like we're kind of lazy. We want to be able to skim. We want to be able to like see the important points. So making sure that you're strategic with how you do that to make sure that those really important statements are going to stand out. And then everything looks good together. So that's kind of the first thing is obviously you do want it to be pretty. Sorry, look at my notes too. And then beyond, so your homepage, I kind of view your homepage as like, this is like your billboard. This is where you want to have as much information as you can have on your homepage in case no one ever makes it beyond your homepage. You also want to make sure that if someone lands on your homepage, they can buy from there, that they don't have to go through, 3 other pages to get to the point where they can buy. So your homepage, you really want it to be like kind of an overview of everything that you have and who you are, and a way for them to buy, or at least get onto your list, so that you can begin nurturing them. It is. Yeah. So as far as the homepage, like, these are kind of the tweaks that, you can, everything that I'm saying today, you can kind of look your own website over and just make sure that you have these things. But, you want to have that hero statement at the top. So that's who you are, who you help, and how you help and serve them. So when someone lands on your page, it's like, boom, it's right there. Like, is this the right person for me? Yep, they help this person. This is what I do. This is how they do it. I think this person could be me. Then it makes them want to read down below. And so the next thing you're going to kind of want to do is you're going to want to speak to your client pain points. So those things that your ideal client is feeling, if you address those right away, like, are you feeling like this? Or do you find yourself feeling like this? So that when, your ideal client is on your page, they're going to be like, yes, that's me. That's exactly how I'm feeling. I want to read more, because they understand. It's that kind of like empathy factor. They get what I'm going through. And then, you want to have a short about you section, very brief, just a few sentences that you can provide them with enough information so they'll want to either stay on that page longer or click to learn more about you, because they do want to buy from you or the person. So they do want to know, that you are the right kind of person that they want to purchase from as well. I always recommend having some testimonials on your homepage, at least a couple. You can have them on a scroll or anything like that, just giving that social proof that you have helped other people, and that means that you can now help them as well. So they're going to see like, okay, other people have had my same issue, and now they've been helped by this person. And then having a call to action. As a general rule of thumb, on all of your pages, you have calls to action, but you want to have kind of like one call to action per page. The exception that I make to this is your homepage, because since it is kind of your like billboard for everything, if they're not ready to buy, like, okay, maybe the call to action is to learn more about your services. So, you want to bring them to that page. Maybe they're not quite ready to buy, but they want your freebie or, some sort of download that you have. So there might be a call to action on that. So most other pages are going to have just one, but this one, you may have a couple of them, but you want to make sure that those are clear and they make sense where they are, and that they are throughout the page. So they don't have to scroll all the way to the bottom to purchase or find more about you or get to your services page. So kind of having those and having that lead magnet of some sort of freebie, some sort of, or a low ticket type thing, just something that you can get people into your audience that maybe they're not ready right then, but then you can nurture them later. So those are kind of like the main things that I would suggest on the homepage. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, Jordan, or anything.
Be helpful to hear of more of like when you have like the homepage and you can have multiple call to actions, like, so it's like, okay, maybe at the top is like my easy next step someone can take. And so the call to action is to like grab that. And then maybe down below when I'm talking about myself, like then the call to action is like, go to my about me page. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, correct. So you might have a few buttons that can go to different places, but that's kind of like, I kind of view a website like kind of like a roadmap. So there's a million places to get, or a million ways to get from like point A to point B. Some people want to hop a plane and they want to just go from here to here as quick as possible. And some people want to take a road trip and they want to see some sites along the way. And so they want to kind of go through everything. So your homepage really spells out like, okay, if you really just want to get to my services, boom, here's where you can click and you can buy. But if you want to take the scenic route, you can learn about me, and then you can learn about my services, and then you can maybe sign up for my newsletter, or you can download my freebie. And we're just going to take a little bit longer to get there, but that's okay, because we're going to like enjoy our time together on the way, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. Thanks.
Okay, so beyond the homepage, obviously the next thing that you have is your about you page. So one of the kind of common mistakes people make when they're doing your about you page is, it's your about you page. You think it should be about you, but like it is about you, but really it's about them. Mm-hmm. So what on your page are you going to put that it's talking about you, but really you're talking about them? So why are you the authority? Like what led you here? What were you experiencing that made you sort of the expert on this that is going to really help them? So finding ways to kind of bring in their pain points and your expertise and build them together to show them that you are the person that really can help them. What makes you stand out? So things that make you unique. There's a million different people that do a million of the same things. So what makes you unique that is going to want to make your ideal client stick with you versus someone else? So put those things on there. I say put fun facts. And I know some people have art, so don't put anything down that you don't want publicly known. You don't have to get like super personal, but put fun facts, because I think it helps people connect with you. If they know, like, okay, it's not just business, but oh, like they love to go to the beach. I love to go to the beach. They love to go fishing. They love to go to their son's baseball games or whatever it is, like just things that you can connect on. So I think your ideal client likes to know that the person that they're going to work with is, similar to them or shares interests. So that's kind of like the main things I would say about the About page. I don't know what other things you want to add here.
Like, I don't know if I still do, but for a long time, I was like, I like singing in the car with my 3 daughters. Like that was one of my like things. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe other people do this too.
It's true. I've actually had a client, true story. I had a client that chose me out of a million other, they'd been approached by tons of web designers. And she was like, the second I pulled up your page and like the way you were like, yeah, you're here. And like whatever my page says when you open up, and then the like fun facts about me, she's like, I wanted to work with a real person. I didn't want to work with a company that was like, here, I can do your website. Here's this, this, and this. Here's the proposal. Here's whatever. She was like, I chose you because I liked the personality you brought. So I think it really does influence people, and you want to work with people that, you're in alignment with. So I think it goes both ways. Like it's more fun to work with clients that appreciate you.
Yeah. Like
you
they're
are
not
as well.
looking for you to be like some robot company type of thing.
Exactly. You're a real person. So, so the next thing, and I guess I should probably back up a step. Every website should have, obviously you have your homepage, you should have your About You page, you should have your services or offerings page, and a contact page. Like that's minimum. Every website should have those things. So those are like the main pages I'm going to be talking about today. So on your services page, you want to have the details of your services and your offers, and include the details about the process, the packages, what they're going to get. Really convey the value. I'm conflicted on pricing. I think sometimes it's great to put your prices online. I also understand the flip side where you don't. If it's something that someone could sign up today and purchase and buy and be good to go, like I think obviously having your prices online is important, because it just makes that decision really quick. If it's more of like you really want to get on the phone with them to really truly convey the value, or you might have openings. If you're only half booked, you may want to pull your prices down because you want to get as many people on a phone call or whatever as possible. If you are fully booked, then I am kind of a proponent of put your prices on there, and then only people that are like truly ready to buy will book calls. And so that's kind of the one area that I would say, that's hit or miss if you want to do it, but you definitely want to include all the details of your services and offers. I will come out and say, honestly, this is the one page on my website that I need to build out more. When I built it, I kind of built it, got it out there. But like, this is one area that I know myself I need to tweak more. But you really want to like show them, like, why should they choose your offer? Why is your offer better than any other offer they could find? Highlight what's working, or highlight like what they're going to get by working with you. Social proof, put some more testimonials on your services page. Definitely homepage and services page should have testimonials at like the minimum. And you can also put that on About page and all that as well. But those 2 pages for sure, you want to have that social proof. And then have a like super easy checkout process. So if they can book with you or they can purchase, making that process super easy, the call to action very in their face. This is how you can buy, having a few ways they can hit that button to buy, but then, not trying to not take them off your site to another page where it's going to have a checkout, where then now they're going to see the details of the package, having everything they can have, making it like one click, giving them, easy options of credit card, as many payment options as you can have that are like modern, not like send me an invoice and I'll send you a check. but like having that so that it's just as super easy, as little as possible, and not taking them off your site to do something other than, if you have, whatever you have to do to click to check out, you have to do, but not taking them to another page where there's going to be more information and then that's where they're going to purchase. So just making that process really streamlined and easy. So making sure you have that, and then always have the option to inquire. So there's going to be people that are not ready to buy. So making sure that you have a way that they're reading all your services, they're pretty interested, but like, how can they inquire more to get information? And having that goes, they're now a warm lead. They're in your funnel. You can nurture them. You can talk to them. Maybe they weren't quite ready to buy, but now you can reach out to them. Where if you don't have that, you'll just lose those people because they don't have a way to contact them.
Yeah. So is that like they're not ready to buy yet, but they can still like sign up on your email list, or there's like a chat thing they can do, or
or or you may, some services you don't have a price because you need to like quote them. You need to have a conversation. Like if you have a coaching package and this is your package and this is what's included. But, someone like me, if I'm doing OBM work for someone, I'm probably going to need to get on a call with them to find out what their business really needs, how much time of support they really need, like what level of support they need. So that's going to take a phone call. If someone wants to book a website or a VIP day, they might be able to sign up directly, So just making it so that they can have a question, or, a lot of people they need to talk to you before they're ready to give you their money. And that's just, some people, like, those are the scenic tour people, your direct flight people, they're ready to buy. If your website has worked in the way that it should work for you, you've sold them along the way of why your services are what they need, and they should be ready to buy by the time they get there, but there's still going to be some people that need more nurturing. Yeah. And then for your contact page, a lot of what I see when I'm doing like website audits for people is you might have a contact page, but you might have like your regular form, the same form that you use when you're giving to any potential client, because you want to maximize your time. You want to be efficient. You want to make sure that they are a good fit for you. So a lot of people will put that into their contact page, but your contact page needs to be short. You need to have like a way for someone to like fill out a form that might be like 4 to 5 fields tops. So they'll give you name, they'll give their email, what they're contacting you about, and like what their question is. If they see a full 15 question form, most people are gonna be like, I don't have time for this right now. Or I don't know that I'm not even close to purchasing, so I don't even want to like put my information in there. So I think if you have a way for people to contact you, also include your email address on there, even though you want them to fill out the form. Also have your email address, because some people are like, no, I don't want to fill that form out. I just want to email this person. So making both options available really helps increase the likelihood that you're going to get contacted by someone. I also a welcome message. So make sure when they get to your contact page, it's still another place where you're nurturing them. So when they get there, it's another message like reaffirming that, yep, you're in the right spot. Here's who I am again. I would love to hear from you. Keep building that relationship on every single page throughout your website. And then also I like to put office hours and location on your website. So obviously I'm virtual. So my location is, based out of Florida, but serving worldwide. But then also your office hours. And what that does is you probably work beyond your office hours. We all kind of do. But if mine say Monday through Thursday, like 9 to 4 or something like that. So that if someone contacts me at Thursday at 4:30 p.m., they can expect that they probably won't hear back from me till Monday. So it's just another way to just set the expectations for, they're not ignoring me. Their office hours are Monday through Thursday. I'll probably hear from them by like Monday. So just having that, it just kind of helps keep building that relationship with them.
Really good point.
And the other big thing is making sure that you optimize. So after all this is done, making sure that you optimize your mobile version of your website as well, because there's kind of mixed data on what percent is mobile versus desktop. I see the numbers kind of changing all the time, but you can safely assume it's about half and half at least. So making sure that your desktop version might be beautiful, but sometimes the mobile versions, you pull it up and you're like, oh, nothing is formatted correctly, or things are getting cut off, or the buttons didn't transfer over. So just really making sure that you review your site from both mobile and desktop anytime you're doing any changes and any updating to make sure they're both optimized.
That happens, I feel like, a lot. Like I'll go to a website and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, but it's like because it's on my phone, and yeah.
Right. And a lot of times, like, I mean, when you design a website, you design it usually with the desktop in mind. So when you get to the mobile, you're like, oh, it doesn't look the same over here. So, and different platforms have different abilities to make it easier to optimize than others. So some are a little bit trickier to fully optimize, but sometimes you just need to hide a picture on mobile because it's not going to show up in the same way. And it just just want to make sure that it looks as professional as it does on the desktop as well.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I talked really fast to make sure I could get it all in, but what questions do you have? Anyone has, or anything else you want to add to that? Or
I'm checking. Let me pull up. So when we're talking about it, tweaks you can make to turn it into paying clients, like I just want to make sure, like basically what you're saying here and like kind of the big takeaway is like just building that relationship for them, and having all those stops along the way, whether they need one stop or they need more stops, like just building that, like, because it all comes back to relationships. And then also like with the almost like creating the safety piece of like, you are who you say you are, and like the office hours, and like creating that, like, okay, I do what I say I'm going to do. Like my hours are this, and then I'm going to get back to you within this time frame. And just like bring them in that relationship through the website, and like just creating that safety that they can go from here to here with you. Is that kind of like,
yeah. And also like making sure, visually making sure that you've kind of blocked out your website. So there's like a block here and a block here, so that it's not just like a run on like 8 paragraph. Those are hard to read. People won't read it. So, making sure that it's like visually blocked out, remembering to really talk about the client. So everything that you're saying, have your client in the back of your mind of what they need to hear from you. So a little bit less about you and more about them. Like, so how do we get your ideal client into your website more? And that's by addressing pain points. How are you going to solve those pain points? So really making sure that you spell that out on the homepage and on your services page and in your About You page. Making sure that you remember to bring it back to the client in everything that you're doing. Like, I was you, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I did. And here's how many people I've helped, so I can help you too. Like, making sure that it's just like really keeping them at the front of your mind when everything that you're putting on there.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen it with people who maybe had existing websites where they kind of have like their list of everything that somebody gets or everything that's included. And it's kind of like, okay, make sure you bring it back to like why they need this and why, like the outcome that they're wanting, and not just like, you get this, number of hours or whatever. And it's like, bring it back first to like what the transformation is and what they're getting. And then like, of course, have the details, but like, we have to like have them sold and like understand why this is something they would want anyway before they read the details.
Exactly. So that's where you're like really conveying the value of like what they're getting. It's not just 20 hours of support a month. It's like, you're going to get this and it's going to lead to this. And once you have this, now you're going to be able to do this. So it's really making sure. And so a lot of that, some of that is copy, the actual like words you're putting together, but a lot of it, you can do yourself if you just really think about, okay, what would I need to hear if I was the client? Like, I need to make sure that I'm putting that on there to make sure that I'm answering any questions they might have. Also, just like another tip is just making sure that you're going to be the expert on your topic, but make sure that you're talking in a way that your client can understand. Because sometimes we might think this is so obvious because we know about it, but someone else is like, I don't know what those words mean, or I don't know exactly what that means. So kind of like, making sure that no matter what understanding someone has of it, that they're going to be able to understand what you're telling them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because I think with what you do with like the website stuff, it's easy to get in like the jargon. And for me, with what I do with like the number side, it's easy to get like caught up in the jargon. And it's like, okay, but if someone literally doesn't know what those words mean, then it's like, it doesn't mean anything. So yeah, that's a really good point. And just even having like obviously someone like you doing it, or having like one of their friends, like, hey, do you understand what these words mean? Or like, does this like make sense? Like, it's not too jargony, or like, just having like that checkpoint to just kind of make sure, because we just know the things we know. And so probably helpful to just like have someone else just to kind of like double check it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have someone double check everything that I do. And anytime I do a website for a client, I'm like, all right, here, you take it and make sure that like I conveyed what you wanted to convey in the right way. And so, yeah, having like multiple people check it for understanding is really important.
Yeah. And so that kind of leads into like, tell us about you. Like, do you do a lot of like new websites? Are they kind of like refreshes, or like, what is your, like, what do you like to do? What do you offer? And tell us about that.
Yeah. So, well, currently I am offering free website audits. So if anyone wants me to just look it over, this is like really no commitment. I won't try and sell you on anything. I've had a lot of people do it and find it just really helpful, because having someone else take a look at it with fresh eyes, like you've stared at your website probably a million times, and to you, it's just there. And so someone else coming in can see from someone else's viewpoint, like, oh, and like when I've done these audits, are like, oh my gosh, you're so right. Like I didn't even notice that was doing that. And I didn't realize that this was looking like this. And now I understand. So I will put that link in the chat when we're done. If anyone wants a free audit, you can sign up for one. I'll send you a quick video. I'll go through your website and give you any thing that I might see or any suggestions. So a lot of what I do is just giving like tips on that. Like, here's what you could do to improve. Or people that have come to me that have no website. That's obviously super fun when no one has a website and we get to start from scratch. But it's also really cool when we can redesign a current website. You want to make sure that your website is always representing the services that you're offering. So you may have had a beautiful website built 5 years ago that totally represented what you did then, but your business has changed. So does it represent who you are now? Has your branding changed? Have you changed your colors? Have you changed your offers? Sometimes your website needs to be updated to reflect that. So it doesn't always have to be a whole new, start from scratch website. It can be just, let's just tweak this and modernize what's there. Sometimes it is switching platforms, because obviously tech has changed over the last few years, and there are newer platforms that have a lot more capability, a lot more functionality. Some are a lot easier actually for most of my clients. Like I don't tend to, they can hire me if they want to maintain their website, but I completely build it. And then I give them a tutorial of how to actually manage it on the back end themselves. And anyone can really do that. A lot of people just still don't want to because they don't have the time, and it's not the best use of their time. But there's a lot of platforms out there that are really user-friendly. So.
Oh, that's so good to know.
I don't know if that answered your question. I just kind of went off on a tangent.
Get a free audit from Kristy. And then where can people find you? Like tell us about your stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to, I'll drop all of this in the chat, but you can find me. My website is www.zumwaltmg.com, which is ZUMWALTMG.com. Or you can find me on Instagram at Kristy, KRSTY _Zumwalt _. I'll drop all that in the chat though. And I would love to follow you. So anyone here today, if you want to drop your handle in the chat as well, I will definitely follow you. I love to support everyone, see what you're all doing. And yeah, and if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me with questions. You can go to my website and sign up for the free website audit there. But I also drop the link in here to the form, so you can just sign up directly if you want to do that.
Yay, that's so fun. I know just really take advantage of that, because that'll be really good. All right, Kristy. Well, I think that's it. Anything else?
That's about it. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any other follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. So
we'll watch you, but no questions. So yeah, definitely. If anyone has questions, we'll be, I know we get a ton of people that watch the replay. So ask your questions, and Kristy and I will make sure that we get those answered. Or if it's directly for Kristy, like we'll make sure that she sees it, because we want to answer those for you. So thank you again, Kristy, and thank you everyone for joining live or on the replay. We really appreciate, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.